into National Enquirer stuff. I'm not into that. I'm into news that affects us on a general basis, everyone in the country, in some way, shape, or form. And those types of stories don't. And so I would fight with them every day from on high, saying I'm not doing Lacey Peterson, I'm not doing Kobe Bryant. Well, I don't care to have an opinion on either. Yes, the Peterson thing was a tragic murder, but there were 10,000 other murders that took place.
Well, what it is, Governor, is a feedback loop, as you know. They set the agenda with fluff and crap, because if they ever gave us real issues, and then it would become a self-fulfilling process where the people would want to know about real issues instead of being distracted with, what happened with a murder in the Caribbean or what's going on with a congressman and his pages. People would be talking about real issues, but now that the alternative media has gotten so powerful...
Hey, you want to hear what one of the big stories up here in Minnesota is lately?
What?
There's a state legislator who came out a number of years ago that he was gay, right? Which is fine and dandy. I have no problem electing gay people to office. If they can do the job, who cares? Well, the big thing up here now is he was seen going out to dinner with supposedly some porno star. Well, how does that affect any way he governs? It has nothing to do. It's his private life.
Well, they feed us with this propaganda, and so the question I have for you, and we're skipping the break here. This is a network break, so stay with us, everyone. Here's Politico. Lieberman bill would strip citizenship, secretly arrest you, put you in a dungeon. It's moving through the Senate right now. New bill gives Obama kill switch to shut down the internet. And the FCC announces new regulations. They're proposing a box in your house. They're already putting this in Australia, software that blocks what you're allowed to look at and surveils what you're doing. And so what's happening is they know the alternative media is kicking the hind end of the corporate media that wants to force all of this fluff on us. And so they are now moving as a perfect storm, corporate media and government, to try to block the alternative media, Governor.
If people aren't outraged over that, if that doesn't cause a revolution, what should? I mean, that's absurd. And I can't believe Joe Lieberman's Jewish, isn't he?
Yes.
Of all people, why would he support something like that?
It's insane. It sounds like something right out of Stalinist Russia or Nazi Germany.
It sounds right out of Nazi Germany to me. Exactly. And that's what just baffles me. Him, of all people, would be the signer and the carrier of this bill that would give government control over literally, and they could define who's considered good and who's considered bad.
The bill actually says for any intelligence person, for any intelligence reason, it's the Violent Belligerence Act, that a designate of the Attorney General or the President or the Pentagon, that they can literally snatch and grab you and use enhanced interrogation, and that you can never be released, never given a trial, and only an act of Congress can even find out where you are.
And this is going to be inside the United States of America.
This is racing through the Senate right now.
Boy.
John McCain's the co-sponsor, and they have a bill that mirrors the bureaucracy of the FCC and Federal Trade Commission. They have a bill that puts in the black boxes and has cybersecurity take over the internet. They're already building the NSA hubs. They've got one down at San Antonio. When reporters try to go take photos of the huge facility, police come out and arrest them. That's in the news. I mean, Governor, you're right when you say Gestapo. This is a total takeover right now of our society.
Well, what can you say? If we allow them to do that, then I guess we deserve what we allow them to do.
Well, God bless you. You're fighting hard. I mean, you could have just retired and ridden off to the sunset. I know that's what you want to do. But I mean, here you are fighting the tyranny, and now you're being surveilled and followed around by Homeland Security.
Well, what can you say? It's nice to be popular.
Well, we've only got about 5-6 minutes left, Governor. I just can't thank you enough for giving us this exclusive interview outside of any other interviews you're doing this week or even.
I'm doing none, Alex. In fact, fact, I'm playing a lot of golf right now on every day that I'm not working because I'm treating this whole summer as a full work summer. So on days that I'm not working, I'm doing what I'm relaxing to the max. No different than when somebody works Monday through Friday. Well, on the weekend they relax, and so when I'm home now, I relax because I'm now out on the road again, and I'm not getting any younger at doing all this stuff.
Absolutely. We appreciate the exclusive interview and your time. Getting into some other subjects here, the Gulf oil spill. I mean, Obama and his controllers really have blocked the states and others from creating
to me, it's unconscionable. How could an oil company not have a plan in place for a leak? That's the bottom line to me, Alex. They drill all these wells under the surface of the ocean all over the world, and they don't have a clue how to cap one off if something goes wrong?
Well, looks like Obama may get his carbon tax because of this, though. I mean, what does putting a bunch of taxes on us have to do with fixing the oil well?
It doesn't. But the point is, how on earth can they? I'm speechless. How could they not have some type of emergency standard operating procedure that is not in place if one of these things goes haywire?
I agree with you.
That's where the bottom line ends for me. And yet now they want to build more of them, and they still don't know how to cap them off. Shouldn't they learn how to cap them off if something goes wrong before we continue to drill more of them?
Well, they knew how, and they ordered Halliburton and Anadarko, who were running the rig, to not follow those procedures. And
Who did?
BP did. That's actually, I've called for criminal investigation.
Well, that's outrageous, and like I said, before any new drilling's done, they better have a rock-solid procedure that works to stop it if something goes wrong.
Well, yes, sir, Governor, they did, and I've got the Coast Guard hearings they had 3 weeks ago. It's gotten very little news. Atlantic Monthly and others have covered it, and in those minutes they talked to the ship engineers, the drilling rig engineers, and they said that the well was leaking 2 months before, not 2 weeks before, and that the whole thing happened because BP told them to do cost-saving measures that in their words, I told them, and this is witnesses, that I told them it would effing explode and catch on fire.
Well, then there's people that ought to go to jail then. It's as cut and dry and simple as that. The people who did that should go to jail.
I agree with you.
That's all I got to say.
I agree with you.
It's a Forrest Gump, and that's all I got to say about that.
We've only got about 2-3 minutes left with you, Governor. In closing, the Iran situation, they're putting more sanctions on them. They're talking about boarding Iranian ships engaged in regular commerce. Israel's got nuke subs off their coast. Iran has backed off, trying to run through the Israeli blockade. What's your view on what even the LA Times is saying today could shape up to be the start of World War III?
Well, I don't know if it'll shape up to World War III or not, but I think it's been on the radar screen for a long, long time. Let me finish your show by telling your listeners this. I have become a huge fan of Colonel L. Fletcher Prouty. I've read all his books he's written. I now have 8 hours of CD that I've come in contact with. And for those that don't know who Colonel Prouty was, he died in 2001, but he always said nothing just happens. Everything is planned. And the point being is Fletcher Prouty was the Mr. X character in Oliver Stone's great movie JFK, the character played by Donald Sutherland. That's who he was in real life. And when you read Prouty's books, you will get a total new history lesson from World War II to today. And you'll understand clearly that each and every one of these wars is pre-planned, that they're always planned for third world countries, and that there's never anything that the military can achieve in which to declare victory. And that's exactly what we've had in every war since World War II.
And Skyhorse Publishing...
It does not surprise me, Alex, that we're going into Iran. I think it's been planned for decades.
And Skyhorse Publishing has republished The Secret Team, available at Infowars.com. Governor Jesse Ventura, thanks for spending time.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.
The question is, where should the American people draw their line in the sand?
What have we got? A republic or a monarchy?
A republic is based on a constitution which protects minority rights.
Not democracy, not mob rule, two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner.
So they think they own our land, they think they own our water, children, our education, our money.
We have to define who we are and what we will tolerate.
Somebody's going to ask you what you did during the Patriot Uprising.
You have been warned.
We have the facts. We have the Constitution. We have the Bill of Rights. We have common law. Knowledge is power, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm so excited to be able to offer you Don't Tread on Me, Rise of the Republic. Tyranny is upon us, but liberty and the sleeping giant that is the American people is rising. A new tool in the info war. Don't Tread on Me. Order it at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139 and support independent, patriotic Liberty Films.